Hi guys, and welcome to this new video. So this video is about the new Blackmagic Cinema Camera, which is the successor basically of the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K Pro. Okay, so this is not a review, so I just want to give you some of my thoughts on it, because there was a lot of shouting already, like, oh, I love it and I hate it, expected anything else or something else, etc, etc. So just want to give you my thoughts, because I'm a little bit more relaxed than most of the other guys, I think. And if you like this kind of stuff, please subscribe to the channel. So I would be really happy and it would be highly appreciated. Okay, so I've got two main cameras. So one is the 6K Pro and the other one is the Sony FX30, which I'm just using to record this video with. And so the FX30 is often compared with the 6K Pro, and there were people saying like Blackmagic has to come up with something new because the FX30 is cannibalizing the market of the 6K Pro. But from my perspective, these are really two different cameras. And I have to admit, at the moment, most of the jobs I'm doing, I'm using the FX30 for, because it's more this run and gun stuff, like events or videos on site, to record some people on site, business photos, etc, etc. So it's not planned, nothing, so you are more reacting. Okay, and something that Blackmagic really stressed in their presentation of the Blackmagic Cinema Camera 6K Pro is it's a film camera. So it's all about film, it's all about quality, it's all about image quality. It's a film camera, okay? The FX30 for me is a kind of, not really a hybrid, but it's like the first camera in the cinema line when you're coming from photography, basically. Okay, so it's closer to a photo camera than a film camera in some means. And so let's go to the big differences. From the Blackmagic Cinema Camera to the 6K Pro. So first one would be, and I expect that it's a full frame sensor, which is great from my perspective. Okay, so I'm coming from photography and did film afterwards. So for me, it's very organic to work with these full frame sensors, because the image is different. You've got more bokeh, etc. So don't have to think about cropping all the time, getting an even wider lens, etc. So I'm pretty interested to test it out, so it would be great if I could get my hands on. Then there are no internal NDs. You know, the 6K Pro had these little plus minus buttons here for the internal ND filters. For me, it's fine, okay? There were so many people out there saying that the internal ND quality is not good enough, etc. They're taking their own. It's nice to have it, but since it's a film camera, I would rather love to have it in the FX30 because of all this run and gun stuff than in the 6K Pro. So I'm fine. So you can either use a variable ND on front of your lens, or if you got several lenses, different ones, you use a matte box with a filter compartment, basically. Then something which I think wasn't a good idea, but I think they simply took it out because of commercial reasons. So I think they have to pay Apple some license fees. So there's no ProRes recording. Okay, I never used it because I'm coming from the Windows side. I'm working with Apple right now, but I'm coming from the Windows side, and a lot of the people I'm working with are using Windows, so ProRes wasn't an option for them anyhow. So I'm using B-RAW, which I'm fine with. I like it, I love it, but it's not part of the Cinema Blackmagic Cinema Camera 6K Pro anymore. Okay, then big one, which was also in the rumors before, the mount of the new one is the L mount, and I think it's a really good decision, because as far as I understood the L mount, it's made for compatibility. So actually you can adapt any lens on this L mount, so you're getting adapters for everything. That's my understanding. If my understanding is correct, I think it's great, especially when you're coming from the philosophy of the pocket cinema camera, so that you want to be very versatile, etc. So I think it's a great idea to have a mount that gives you all the adapters you want to have to get any lens in front of your camera, especially when you're on the budget. You don't own all the lenses and you rent them. I think that's a great idea. And then other big difference is that the 6K Pro used CFast cards and SD cards. So you've got both slots, and now they switched it to the CFast Express cards, which I think is great because the CFast, I just purchased one CFast card because they are so incredibly expensive, and the CFast, the Express cards are much more inexpensive. So I think that was a very good idea, and it's also the newer standard. So these are the big differences between the cameras. So coming back to the philosophy. So the 6K Pro is a film camera, as they stressed. So it's really all about image quality. So you don't need autofocus, for example, which I really hoped that they will start introducing autofocus. Why? Because I would love to do more jobs with the Blackmagic camera, because I simply love it. Okay, and the main reason I'm not using the Blackmagic is autofocus. And the second one, if it's not a special job that needs this ton of image quality you're getting from the B-RAW format, then it's also file size. Okay, so if I'm just going out filming some events and they just need some digital footage, it's much better I use one of the easier formats of the FX30, which is like 1/5 of the data later I need for storage. And so philosophy-wise, I completely understand what Blackmagic is doing. Okay, they are not jumping into the ring basically, or the octagon, and start getting into competition with the FX30, because it's really a different camera. I think from us user perspective, it's not 100% true, because I personally would like to work more with this camera, but it's simply the wrong camera for the jobs I've got at the moment, right? So I need the FX30. As sad as it is, so if I personally would like to, if I want to work more with the Blackmagic camera, then I just need different jobs. Okay, that's how it is. My actual wish list was autofocus and a slightly smaller body, simply because I'm using the gimbal a lot, and I've got the RS2, the DJI RS2, and also the older one was called S, right? Ronin S. So with the Ronin S, it really was complicated. Yeah, the Ronin was too small. So, and with the RS2, it's okay, but it's very tight. So I would like to have had a little bit smaller body, and with smaller I meant not as wide as it is, but then you've got, yeah, okay, you could have put these buttons somewhere else on the top to get it a little bit smaller, but then the question is where you put the battery, etc., etc. That was, or would have been, the only thing I would have liked to have, but the cube size. So a lot of people were asking for having a cube size or block size or whatever you would call it camera. So it wasn't that important for me because the LCD is great. Okay, so to sum it up, I personally, at the moment, since I haven't got any of these creative jobs where you need a film camera, so there's no reason for me to block the budget to get this new camera. So actually, I have to work on getting jobs in the creative arena. Okay, so then I get also into the nice position to work with these cameras a lot more. So that's really, when it comes down to this camera, the essence basically. Okay, so it's not the question what I would like to have had in this camera. It's just, this is a film camera and I'm just doing less film too much event stuff and run and gun stuff. Okay, these were my thoughts. If you liked it, please like, subscribe, and always remember to listen to more heavy metal guys. See you next time. Thank you.